ladies and gentlemen, there has been quite a bit of drama surrounding the gacha space, and specifically the Wuthering Waves space. And that drama pertains to the Wuthering Waves 2.5 story quest and the ratings that various CECs are giving. And we have one clip over here from a streamer you may all know in the category that has gotten a lot of traction because it is, in all honesty, quite a bit spicy. So let's just go ahead and give this a bit of a listen and then start providing some of the context for what fueled a response like this one.
Comments mad because I yapped during story. I don't care what they think. They're retarded. Curl bots are a waste of breath, bro. They're worthless.
Yeah, so some pretty aggressive wording over here, right? You hear stuff like this from a CC, right? And you have to assume that something pretty bad happened, right? That there must have been a response towards this CC that was out of line, and this is them responding back. That's kind of like the context that you would imagine, right, from hearing a statement like that.
Do not care what those people think. I haven't even looked at the comments. A bunch of notifications on YouTube. Do not care what they think.
I think the first part that confuses me about this is how would you know what the people in the comments are saying if you didn't read them? That's just my take, right? He sounds pissed. He, like, looks pissed on the matter. And I feel like to be that pissed about the comments, you would have to know what they say, but carry on.
You know, I'm down to read comments for videos. It's not even worthwhile reading comments when it's about Wuthering Waves, because it's just the dumbest humans in existence always comment. It's not worth it. They're too stupid to live.
Harsh commentary, but depending on what was said, I might be inclined to agree with it.
I like Wuthering Waves, but like, man, the online community is just insane, bro. Yeah, they try to pretend that they're so much better than Hoyo, but like, they're also shitty. Both can be shitty, man.
We've heard all the framing over here, right? We have to assume that the Wuthering Waves community, based off of his 2.5 review video, was saying some outlandish, wild, absolutely ridiculous shit to him.
Even though I play more Wuthering Waves than them, even though I spend more money on Wuthering Waves than them, even though I probably enjoy the game more than them, and that's why I actually give complaints about things that matter.
Okay. I don't feel like that part was necessary. This kind of feels like I'm the only motherfucker that should be getting praise for critiquing Kuro games. Because I spent money on the game. Because I play the game a lot. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. That's how that came off. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if that part was necessary. That really gives me those vibes. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's just I don't feel like that's needed.
Why am I being invited to fucking Curl Fest and they aren't?
Okay, I don't even think that one's needed either too. It's that's okay. So my headcanon in this situation is, right, clearly some fucking ridiculous stuff was said, right? Something that was so out of line, so absurdly unforgivable, or just a ridiculous community response that has led to kind of like this, you know, this level of defense, right? A little bit of like the ego explosion over here. Let's just play the rest of the clip so that we don't miss any further context.
You know why? Because they fuck them, all right? These fucking delusional fans always online saying the craziest shit, bro.
So they're saying the craziest shit. So let's go ahead now and verify what was being said, because I think that there were some pretty crazy claims made in that clip that we just saw, some pretty wild things that were said about certain parts of the community. And of course, right, we kind of had like that weird flex at the end over there that's kind of just like, yeah, I'm like better than you. You guys are like lesser, I guess, like players of the game compared to me. And so let's see what was said looking at it from the, yeah, let's just sort by the top comments on this video. You can see that the dislike ratio is looking a little bad. It's like 353 to like 149. That might be like 200, right? So this might be at like a solid like 60-70%. Probably not like the best overall response, right? So let's see what some of the comments were saying. My entire time the last bit during the back and forth was me saying, okay, no, this is literally the top upvoted comment, and there's nothing toxic, negative, nothing like that at all in here. I don't see, this is just commentary on the story. I'm going to preface this prior to my statement as I don't want to be labeled as toxic. Jenna, I feel like you barely watched the story for this one to have a take of it confused me. This just sounds like a fair critique from a longtime viewer. I don't think you were yapping as the other comments might echo, but you were definitely not focused. I genuinely hope I am not coming off as rude. All is good. This sounds like a longtime viewer with a legitimate point of feedback, knowing that they have watched your prior streams and your prior content before. I don't necessarily consider this like an overwhelmingly toxic community response. This sounds like somebody that watched the entire stream and overall had a point of critique to say, because like they thought that the stream could have been better if he had done different things, like paying more attention. Yeah, I don't see any toxicity in here. I don't see the whole like maybe there's worse stuff. Let's see. No amount of good storytelling can save a clapped CC that has the attention span of a walnut. Okay, that one's mean. I'll give it to him there. It's funny, but it's also mean. You could call that toxic. Hey, if this is the comment that made him crash out, sure. Right. I think that, yeah, this is just this is just something you'll get, but it does have a lot of upvotes, so sure. Let's read some of the replies. Yeah, okay. This one's a little mean for sure. Watching this made me consider to not ever watch you again when it comes to story reviews. Everything was literally fed to you and you got confused with the story. LOL Jenna. This might be somebody that's cosplaying a longtime viewer, but this also does sound like somebody that has been a previous regular viewer of his content and did not like the interpretation or their experience watching him play through this. I'm gonna be real here. I'm perfectly of the boat that there are some people that might just be faking being a viewer, that are just like faking being a part of his community, and they could be doing that. But the fact that I've already seen this many upvoted comments saying the same sort of vein, I don't necessarily know. Now we got this one over here. Confusing for me. Quoting Genozod. Yeah, just for you, because you don't give a shit about the story. You were just yapping random shits when something happened in the story or when emotional dialogue was playing. Let's not comment about the story when you don't even try to enjoy it. This also sounds like another person that was just there watching the entire thing. And this is the situation, right? Is that Jenna doesn't actually upload his VODs on YouTube. And so the only way to have had that knowledge is to literally watch his stream on Twitch and like watch his VODs and do that. So once again, could be somebody cosplaying, but this entire comment section to me, it sounds like his own viewers. And they all have the same, they all sound like his own viewers, and they all have the same critique. And I think this is maybe why that idea of never reading a single comment and then making a general blanket statement about what's being said, even when you're not reading it, is kind of like inherently a bit harmful, right? I'm reading all of these comments and they don't even sound like, I couldn't even attribute them to Kuro bots. It just sounds like his own viewers that are a little bit frustrated with how he went through the story. And what you'll notice in here, right? Nobody's talking about his score. Nobody is talking about the fact that he gave the patch for the game a 7. Nobody is saying that there was anything wrong with his rating. They're all saying that there was something wrong with the amount of attention that he was paying to the story quest. We got some additional comments from this chain down here, and I think this is the one that kind of brings home this theory a lot more, that the negative response that's being had over here is from his own community. It's just he never locks into the WuWa story for some reason, like he does with Limbus. It's double standards, and this one is getting a massive amount of upvotes on his own channel. So this is somebody that is watching his Limbus streams and watching his WuWas. Brother, at this point, it's your own viewers. Those are the people that are upset with you. It's your own viewers. And so with that in mind, right, let's go ahead and see what the overall response was in a secondary chat between Tectone and Genesis, kind of like bringing some context to the situation. We've gone ahead, we've looked at the top upvoted comments. Let's see what the breakdown was, a reflection on the scenario from these two.
It was just me talking on stream, basically.
You liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But that's not good enough, right?
Sure.
I had to dick suck the game, say it's incredible, and if you say anything negative about that story at all, they say you didn't understand it.
You said yourself that you didn't understand it. That's the thing. You said it was confusing for me. So it's not that the people are saying that you didn't understand it. It's that you yourself said that there were parts that you didn't understand. And then people said you didn't understand them because you weren't paying attention to the story. It wasn't like, oh, he's saying that the score is a 7 because he didn't understand it. No, but none of the top upvoted comments on here are talking about your rating. They're simply talking about the fact that you said yourself you didn't understand it. So that's the first thing over here. right? That's the first thing, right off the rip.
I say, because you didn't understand every single minute point of the entire story, you don't understand anything about it.
Because you don't understand every single detail about the story, you don't. All the comments in here are critiquing your point that it was confusing. Again, I'm reading all of these responses, and nothing in here is saying that he didn't understand it. They're just quoting a line from the video itself, where Janazad said he doesn't understand it.
It's a simpler story told in a confusing way sometimes because of the way some characters like Frolova and stuff talk. It makes something that I think is a fairly simple, when you really get to the brass tacks of it, a fairly simple story, but it's made super complex with how flowery her language is, where I would sometimes be like, wait, what?
The only reason why you're having comments in your comment section about not understanding the story is because you yourself said it in the video. But we have gone ahead and we have blamed the entire community. We have literally manufactured this Kurobot in our own mind. We have manufactured a Kurobot and are saying that they're the ones responsible for saying we don't understand the story when that's literally what was said in the video. Like, I'm gonna be honest, this is like falling down, right? Scraping your knee and then saying, thanks, Obama. Like, we're calling our own viewers degenerate Kurobots because they're simply quoting the exact words that we said in our video. We're literally creating demons over here.
You got the same thing.
Yeah, I literally said I couldn't pay attention to certain parts, and that I was doing a sponsor and I was short for time, and I did apologize for not giving it my full attention.
So with the critique that Techie didn't give full attention to the WuWa 2.5 story is actually a factually true and fair one. Because he himself said that due to sponsor obligations and this crazy thing called time, right? This crazy thing called time, he wasn't able to give his full attention to the story, and he preemptively apologized for it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really see that much of a response to Techie online. I think there's a reason why I wasn't linked any crazy Twitter posts regarding the issue. Because I feel like everyone kind of like understood that. He's a busy dude.
But when I said I skipped around, I skipped maybe one NPC and the cutscene of Frolova getting her wedding dress. And then they say he skipped everything.
Okay, that's a little fucked up, but it feels like, not gonna lie, I feel like people are kind of like half joking when they say that.
It's like, brother, I skipped twice.
And I mean, it's funny to say that, right? It's like, bro skipped one dialogue with a no-name NPC, and they're like, he skipped everything! It's kind of goofy.
Dude,
yeah.
I had people being like, he was just talking the whole time, so I'm supposed to just be like, oh my god.
I know.
I can't believe this. This is insane.
No, Janazad. The issue wasn't that you were talking the whole time. It's you have your own longtime viewers telling people that you just didn't lock into the story. It's not that you were talking too much or yapping. It's that you didn't lock into the story in the same way that you lock into other game stories. And you have your own viewers saying that to you. That's all it is. It's not like, oh, just stay silent and like only react. Clearly, your own viewers know what it looks like when you do a high-quality story playthrough. And your own viewers are saying you just didn't have the same type of experience for the WuWa 2.5 patch that you had for other games that you play. Like, these aren't people that decided to just climb onto your channel and then just shit on you exclusively for this. This is the one time it's happened to such a high degree. None of the comments on here, right, are like these crazy, otherworldly, outlandish, ridiculous sort of response. They all seem relatively tame to me, except for that one person calling you a clapped walnut.
What the fuck do these people want? Just go watch a movie, bro. Just watch a YouTube video. They're like, he was talking the whole time. It's like, yeah, what the fuck?
They just want you to play the story with the same amount of high effort and quality gameplay that you did for the Limbus Company ones. Or that's what I'm reading in the comments. That's what I'm reading in the comments, and that's what's upvoted to the top in your comments.
What do you think I'm here for, bro? What is the point of just saying, oh my god, she didn't say that.
No way. Yeah, people will say, like, react harder, then you talk, and they're like, can you shut up? Like, what the fuck do you want, bro?
If you read your comments, you would actually know what they wanted. But we've decided to, every single time we get a critique, we're ignoring it, we're refusing to read it, and then just saying, those aren't valid critiques. They're just mindless Kurobots. They're just mindless, toxic, positive Kurobots. I don't need to read what's being written. If it's a critique, to me, clearly it's fake. It can't be real. That's what it seems like right now. Because I swear to you, I'm reading these comments and most of them seem relatively reasonable. And to just attribute any negative feedback, any criticism as just like this mindless, faceless Kurobot army that's only there to toxic positively shill Wuthering Waves, when in reality, no one's even talking about the opinion that he had. They're only talking about the fact that he said it was confusing and that he also didn't pay attention.
Oh, these fans are so stupid. You can't have it both ways, bro.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The story was good. It didn't change my life. Sorry. I thought it was solid. And just because I didn't understand every single little minute point, it doesn't mean I didn't understand anything about the story. And I was like, man, Rover's kind of a dickhead. And they're like, he didn't understand anything. It's like, I understand.
Is there a single comment saying that he didn't understand anything? Unless it was directly quoting him? Maybe there's one that I'm missing. I literally don't see one. I don't see any. Where are the Kurobots? Where are the Kurobots? Clearly, I don't think he's deleting comments because there's still one calling him like a clapped walnut. So it's just like, where are these demons coming from?
It's just Rover's a dick. It doesn't mean they're wrong. It's like, you can't win with these people. It's impossible. They just want it.
They're your own viewers. Brother, I can't say this enough. If you had just read the comments that you're saying you're ignoring because they're all just mindless Kurobots, you would realize that all these points of critique are coming from your own longtime viewers. Genuinely, the feedback that they're giving is pretty legitimate, pretty actionable, nothing too crazy. And just because something is a critique and it isn't positive, that doesn't mean that we should just ignore it and never read it. And secondly, to just attribute any negative feedback that you're getting to this mythical Kurobot, like the Shadow Army operating behind the scenes to like sabotage you and like try to make Wuthering Waves look as good as possible. Like, why are we blaming? We're blaming the Wuthering Waves community as a whole, or saying that there are like these hypersensitive, hyper-aggressive Kurobot army members that are sabotaging us, when it's literally our own viewers. I don't think it's real, man. I'm gonna be honest. It seems like this is a molehill that has been turned into a mountain because a CC is unable to read critiques about them and has to assume that any legitimate critique is actually an attack by like some unknown, by like some malicious force. And here we go. We got people saying this now. We got people saying stuff like, that's facts about Kurobots, just like in HSR or Genshin. And that's the angle that people are gonna go for now, right? Oh, Jenna's just getting attacked by Kurobots. They're just as bad as Genshin and HSR. When we've literally investigated the comment section that is causing all of these issues. And there are literally Limbus Company players talking about this. What do you mean? It's the Wuthering Waves. These are literally Limbus Company players that are going into his WuWa videos comment section to talk about how he didn't pay attention. What are we doing here, guys? Why are we just trying to misrepresent the actual facts of the scenario? Guys, just because Genazad doesn't want to read his own comment section, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't read it too and just believe what he's saying. We need to at least have like a little bit of due diligence over here and see if what he's saying actually is true. Because in this scenario, I don't actually think it is.
I hate because I gave it a number of a 7 instead of a number of a 9.
That's not the reason why. There's literally nobody in the comment section talking about the score. Everyone is simply talking about the fact that you weren't giving it as much attention as other games that you've played in the past.
You know what? If I gave it an 8, they would have been like, that's probably fine. But just because 7 out of 10 to a lot of people means like a C and that means bad, they just think it's bad, but I thought it was good.
Control F. 7. It's all in usernames. That is the only time. Oh, it's a 9 out of 10 story quest. Okay. Anywhere else? Nobody said the word 7 a single time. It's not in a single comment. Nobody's talking about the score. Nobody complained about the rating. It's not that hard to accept a critique. It's genuinely not. It actually helps you improve and become better so you can know what your biggest fans think you could do better. But we're just ignoring it. We're sweeping it all away. And we're saying that our biggest fans are actually just mindless, worthless curlbots, instead of people with actual critiques that we should be listening to. I think that this kind of gets to the bottom of the issue, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, I think that reading the comments, especially, you know, as like a bit more of a controversial CC that's making controversial, you know, that's making controversial takes, it's something that's pretty good, so you can get a vibe check on your own community. But I do think it's really unfortunate in this scenario that we have done something, right, that our community didn't like, which is what Genocide did here. He did something his community didn't like. His community had backlash for him, and he's proceeding to imply that every person that critiqued him is completely wrong, they're stupid, they're worthless people, and they're just toxic positive losers. When it's our own community members, they're the ones that have made these takes. I don't think the WuWa community really has too much to worry about with this one. I think that people are going to continue to spread this whole sort of narrative that, you know, talking negatively, having any critique at all for the game is going to, like, you know, like it's going to, like, have all these rabid people come falling down on you to, like, ruin your career. You want to know what my YouTube channel currently looks like right now? One critique video about Furlova's weapon, another critique video about Furlova's release. You want to see what the dislike ratio is on those? Yeah. I don't know. Looking pretty decent to me. 2 full-on critique videos from one of the biggest Wuthering Waves creators, directly critiquing parts about the game, saying that they're big issues and big problems. And I'm still maintaining 85 plus, 90 plus % like ratios on those videos. I'm going to be honest, right? It's about how you're presenting the message, whether or not your critiques are actually valid, so on and so forth. And, you know, going at it from there. But in this scenario, right, this is a CC's own viewers getting turned into some faceless evil entity. And it's a little weird, I'm gonna be honest. Let me know what you all thought about this one, ladies and gentlemen. I think the WuWa community is off the hook, but feel free to convince me why I'm wrong in this scenario. Peace out.